But gain of function is totally different. This is building a bioweapon. We got to stop this. And with this, I still reserve.
The gentleman from Arizona reserves. The gentlewoman is recognized.
I continue to oppose this amendment, and I say to my colleague, just keep your head in the sand. I yield back.
Gentlewoman yields back. Gentleman from Arizona is recognized.
Once again, I find it very fascinating. Keep my head in the sand. What about the science? You know, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin weren't going to work? Are you kidding me? You know, from that standpoint, you know, who's got their head in the sand is the other side. This is very important that we stop this. We shouldn't be dealing with somebody else. If we're going to do something like that, it ought to be done here, not in Southeast Asia where we can't control it.
That was MAGA Republican Paul Gosar spewing COVID and vaccine conspiracies on the House floor. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. I want to show you what the MAGA Republicans are doing on the House floor and in the various committees. And in the Senate, I also want to compare that to the Democrats, who I think are pretty impressive messengers. And I want to showcase what they've been saying. Here in the next clip, MAGA Republican Ralph Norman espouses a very interesting MAGA Republican position, that they are pro-junk fees. Here he is, MAGA Republican Ralph Norman, talking about being pro-junk fees. Play this clip.
Pursuant to House Resolution 864, the gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Norman, and a member opposed each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from South Carolina.
Mr. Speaker, my amendment would prohibit funding from being used to carry out the actions described in Biden's October 31st fact sheet regarding cracking down on so-called junk fees that we've heard a lot of tonight. Specifically, this amendment would prevent funding from being used to implement the Department of Labor's controversial effort to crack down on so-called junk fees in retirement investing that could easily result and will result in higher fees and fewer investment options for hardworking Americans. Since the beginning of the Biden administration's whole of government crusade against so-called junk fees, it has been clear that the president and his officials are just targeting fees and practices that go against their own objectives, preferences.
Here is MAGA Republican Senator from Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullen, on one of these right-wing extremist networks. And here, Senator Mullen talks about how he believes there's historical precedent for him being able to challenge witnesses to fights and to even cane witnesses who he disagrees with. Play this clip.
The quote of the year, sir. Seriously, are there any actual Senate rules that if two consenting adults want to duke it out? I mean, we had a United States congressman pull a tooth on the House floor once. There's no rules about that. Could you guys go bare knuckle if you wanted to? Just no rules.
Well, we looked into the rules, and you used to be able to cane. You got to remember President Andrew Jackson challenged 9 guys to a duel and won 9 times. In a White House dinner one time, a guy was mouthing him at the end of the table. Jackson jumped up, literally ran across the table and knocked the guy out. And so at the end of the day, there is precedence for it if that's what someone wants to do. In this case,
here is the MAGA Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer, flipping out when confronted with the fact that he gives loans and has shady business deals with his brother, especially over areas that he had or has oversight over, both when he was a state political leader and in the House of Representatives. A hit dog will holler, huh, James? Play this clip of MAGA Republican James Comer.
But you and Goldman, who is Mr. Trust Fund, continue to try to
reclaiming my time.
No, I'm not going to give you your time back. We can stop the clock. You all continue to, you look like a Smurf here just going around and all this stuff. Now listen.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm going to tell you something.
Hold on. If we're not on time,
we spew disinformation.
You have gone on TV and said the president did something illegal. You're doing stuff with your brother. The American people have the same questions. Why should they believe you? Why should they believe you? Why should they believe you? There's a different rule for the president. There's a different rule for you. Why should they believe what you're saying, Mr. Chairman? Why? You go on Fox News and say loans and deals are a way to evade taxes. We don't know that's what you're doing or not. We don't know. We have no idea. We're supposed to take your word for it. But when the president
you've
says
already been proven a liar, Mr. Moskowitz.
What's that?
You've already been proven a liar.
Who's proven me a liar? You?
Yes.
Your word means nothing, Mr. Chairman.
Go to my hometown. There's a camera crew there today, an opposition research crew there today.
Mr. Chairman, this seems to have gotten under your skin.
I'll pay for your ticket.
I think the American people have lots of questions, Mr. Chairman, and perhaps you should sit maybe for a deposition.
I will be happy.
One of the Democrats I've really enjoyed featuring lately on the MeidasTouch network is Democratic Congressmember Neguse, who, again, just comes with the facts. And he always talks about in these appropriations hearings how the MAGA Republicans want to defund law enforcement, defund the FBI, and how these performative defund efforts have real consequences, and that the MAGA Republicans essentially want to defund everything that keeps our nation safe and secure. Watch how Democratic Congressmember Neguse surgically destroys the MAGA Republican talking points, and you'll see him speaking with a MAGA Republican who basically uses the same lines about the reason that we're doing this is because this is a weaponization of the Department of Justice and the FBI. And then Congressmember Neguse is like, what are you even talking about? And by you defunding it, you're just making our country less safe, MAGA Republicans. Play the clip.
I guess what I'm saying is, you all have submitted a budget to this committee and for the full House to consider that cuts the agency that regulates weapons, cuts the agency that investigates federal crimes, cuts the agency that prosecutes federal crimes. What you call adjustments are deep cuts to federal law enforcement. And I, for one, will not and cannot support them. And I suspect that most of the colleagues on my side of the aisle will share that view. Ranking Member Cartwright, to the extent you'd like to expound on any of that, we welcome your feedback.
First, I'll yield to Chairman Rogers if he wants to respond.
Well, thank you, sir. We recognize the concerns raised that regards the perceived weaponization of the FBI and ATF. The budgetary adjustments that we made were made to ensure responsible use of resources and to address those concerns that I mentioned. By leveraging the power of the purse, our aim is to instill accountability, eliminate overreach, and bring these agencies back to their core missions. This ensures that the FBI and ATF serve the American people within the bounds of their mandates.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I would simply say, with respect to the FBI and the ATF, massive cuts to their personnel do not accomplish any of what you just described. Essentially, cutting the FBI and cutting the ATF, telling these agencies that they need to essentially fire, lay off federal law enforcement agents, which is the plan of the Republicans apparently in the House, is certainly not a way to build safer communities. Secondly, I would just say,
my old mattress was low quality and it would overheat while my partner and I were laying in it together, making for a terrible night's sleep. I'm so excited to say that this episode is brought to you by 8 Sleep. This is transformative. There's nothing worse than tossing, turning, or sweating in the night because you're too hot. The pod cover by 8 Sleep will keep you cool all night, all the way to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, so you wake up fully refreshed. The pod cover by 8 Sleep fits on any bed like a fitted sheet. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting the temperature on each side of the bed based on your and your partner's individual needs. It can cool down and warm up and adjust based on the phases of your sleep and the environment that you are in. I love 8 Sleep because we spend almost half of our lives in bed. Improving our sleep routine, habits, and overall sleep quality should be a priority for everyone. It's been a true game changer in my life. I love the temperature control and that both me and my partner can set our side to each of our likings. I wake up feeling refreshed after a great night's sleep, allowing me to start the day off right. 8 Sleep's technology is incredible. For example, thanks to the Pod Sleep sleep and health tracking. You can wake up to a personalized sleep report for you each morning that offers insights on how certain behaviors like late night exercise or caffeine impact your sleep and overall health. I've never experienced sleep like this, and the pod's cooling technology has been a lifesaver. Invest in the rest you deserve with 8 Sleep Pod. Go to 8sleep.com/Meidas, spelled EIGHTSLEEP.com/Meidas, and save $150 on the pod cover. That's the best offer you'll find. Stay with 8 Sleep, now shipping within the USA, Canada, the UK, select countries in the EU, and Australia. Now back to our show. Next up, Democratic Congressmember Moskowitz calling out James Comer. Play this clip.
All I'm saying, Mr. Chairman, is you may have done nothing wrong. No,
but you tweeted that I did.
I'm claiming my time, Mr. Chairman. There's a story out there, right? Because we believe everything in the media, like when you go on Fox News and say things and everyone says that they're true with innuendos and ifs and maybe, the Biden family, the crime family, all this nonsense. But when it happens to you, it's fake news. And what I'm saying is there should be the same. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. There should be the same standard. You said at the beginning of this hearing, the Biden administration can't have it both ways. Neither can you, Mr. Chairman. I yield my time back. Thank you.
You have to ask when you see clips like this also, what is MAGA Republican James Comer hiding? As I said before, a hit dog will holler. Here's James Comer saying, it's not a shell company. It's an LLC. It's an LLC. It's a shell. It's a shell company. Play the clip.
And said that it was a shell company because it was an LLC. You're so financially illiterate that you think because something says LLC, it's a shell company. This company, which I financially disclose, has properties. Never loaned my brother money. Don't have an LLC.
Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer talking about a way that the Democrats can introduce a resolution that will finally allow leaders of the military to be confirmed after MAGA Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville has used his power to object and block the confirmations of critical military leaders, significantly harming our military readiness. Watch Democratic Chuck Schumer doing the work of the American people and supporting our troops. Play this clip.
I will be going over to the Rules Committee as they mark up the resolution allowing the Senate to finally confirm the military promotions currently being blocked by Senator Tuberville. For 9 months, Senator Tuberville has single-handedly prevented the swift bipartisan confirmation of hundreds of generals and flag officers and put our military more in jeopardy with each passing day. As a result of Senator Tuberville's holds, America's national security is paying a price. Our military readiness is paying a price at the time when we need military readiness more than ever. And these, I don't know if we have any water here, and the spouses and children of these people who have served their country for decades is being held in complete turmoil and jeopardy because of Senator Tuberville's stubbornness. Well, as you can see now, patience is wearing thin with Senator Tuberville on both sides of the aisle. I strongly support this resolution to overcome these military holds, and if it is reported out of committee today, which I believe it will, if our Republican colleagues cannot convince Senator Tuberville to drop his holds, I will bring it to the floor as soon as possible for a vote.
Well, I got to show you this clip, even though I played this one before in another hot take that I did. Here is MAGA Republican Senator Mullen attacking the witness, a labor leader of the Teamsters. Just watch how immature and just odd this MAGA Republican senator is. Play this clip.
Like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company. Myself and my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect. You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
Oh,
guy.
oh, stop it.
Is that your solution?
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay. Sit down, please.
All right. Can I respond? Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. If we can't, no, I have the mic. I'm sorry. This is Hold what it. he said. You'll have your time. Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing.
So unprofessional. Here is Democratic Congress member Jared Moskowitz talking about how, once again, the Democrats have to bail out the Republicans and bail out the Republican Speaker of the House. This time it is MAGA Mike, since the Democrats gave the necessary votes to pass the continuing resolutions, as they've been currently packaged as what's called a laddered continuing resolution that funds part of the government through January, the other part through February, while the hardline MAGA Republicans have tried to block the continuing resolution and cause a government shutdown. The Democrats bailed out MAGA Mike just like they bailed out Kevin McCarthy. Play the clip.
What's unclear to me is whether there'll be a motion to vacate the speaker after a bunch of Democrats vote to keep the government open, because that's what happened to Speaker McCarthy. We heard from Republicans, oh, it's not personal with McCarthy. It was about the issue. Okay, well, then we should see a motion to vacate Speaker Johnson from my Republican colleagues.
And with all of this MAGA craziness going on, I love that Democratic Congress member Jared Moskowitz has a sense of humor. In addition to the fight that broke out on in the Senate committee with Markwayne Mullen attacking the witness, the labor leader, there was also a second fight where Kevin McCarthy elbowed MAGA Republican Congress member Tim Burchett and physically assaulted him while Tim Burchett was being interviewed. And here, Democratic Congress member Jared Moskowitz, in a moment that's pretty funny and endearing, he goes up to Tim Burchett and pretends to do a Kevin McCarthy, and you'll see how Tim Burchett responds. Play this clip.
Yeah, all right, I'll let you go. I just want to talk to you as well. Thanks for your time. As you can hear,
since we weren't able to get into that.
No, I thought that moment of levity was worth sharing with you. And by the way, as I mentioned before, and as featured on MeidasTouch.com, by the way, shout out to our editorial team there at MeidasTouch.com. If you want to support the growth of the editorial team at MeidasTouch.com and everything we're building here, go to patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. I digress for a moment, but I just want to give a shout out to the great work they're doing. Here's our report. Speaker Johnson, MAGA Mike, joins with Democrats to pass the CR, the continuing resolution. MAGA is furious. The resolution passed 336 to 95, with 93 of the most right-wing MAGA Republicans voting against it. It would not have passed without the Democratic support. And now there's once again another MAGA revolt against MAGA Mike. Say that a few times fast. Actually, don't say that any times fast. But there you have it, folks. I just want to show you the facts. I want to show you the video. I want to show you competence versus incompetence. I want to show you normalcy versus whatever the heck this MAGA Republican thing is. And as I said, what this is about right now, it's really about normalcy, democracy, evidence, and then it's about comparing that to whatever's going on in this MAGA Republican world. So tell me how you feel in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching it. Doing these reviews of what goes down in the House and in the Senate is something that I really enjoy doing. So I hope you like these hot takes. See you next time. Check us out at MeidasTouch.com and hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. That is free. Have a great one.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.